So as Trem said, I'm Nitin Govender. I lead our talent and organization practice for Accenture in Southeast Asia. And this is actually the 4th year that I'm doing the talent report in conjunction with SFA. And I must say, for this year, I'm really excited to be able to share some of the findings. This year, we took a little bit of a different approach for the overall report. In previous years, we focused very much specifically on fintechs. But this year, we took a bit of a broader approach in terms of understanding technology, talent in financial services. So we covered a number of financial institutions across Singapore. I think I don't have to say that there's a significant amount of challenges that our workforces are facing. Everything from some of the macroeconomic factors, some of the challenges that we're facing with the advent of GenAI. We're also seeing the way in which the next generation starts to think very differently around careers. And these are all impacting the way in which talent thinks. And it leaves us with some food for thought in terms of the things that we need to do to be able to attract, develop, and retain staff. So today I'm going to cover just some of the key findings. We'll talk about the implications of that. And then we'll give you some practical ideas in terms of things that financial institutions and fintechs need to take going forward. So let's start with a little bit of a big picture view. When we surveyed our financial institutions, more than 57% of them said that they expect the sector to grow in the next 1 to 2 years. However, when we look at the amount of employees in the fintech sector from 2023 to 2024, we are seeing a decline. So whilst the decline may be a small percentage, we are still seeing a decline. More than 57% of financial institutions expect that next year they will either freeze headcount or they will reduce headcount. And only a smaller percentage are expecting the headcount to grow. We're also starting to see institutions get a lot better in terms of managing attrition. So attrition levels for more than 57% of financial institutions are starting to report attrition levels that are less than 10%. Now, all of these things is really because of, number one, the amount of investments that have been made in fintechs over the last year have actually decreased. Secondly, we're starting to see the impact of AI on the workforce in terms of making the workforce a lot more efficient. And as I mentioned, our new generation of workforce is also thinking very differently about their careers. So, Trem mentioned the impact of AI, analytics, data and insights in terms of the workforce. When we analyzed the various roles across technology in financial services, there are 5 key roles that stand out that are going to be significantly impacted. So a test engineer, for example, 5 hours of a test engineer's work in a day will likely disappear once you start using the full aspects of GenAI technology. Roles such as data analysts, IT support engineers, database admin, software developers are all likely to be impacted significantly with GenAI. Now, when we think about what's going to happen with those work, and as Trem mentioned earlier on, it's time for the reskilling journey. If you haven't started, you're almost too late. So getting the workforce ready for the next wave of change. Now, when we ask ourselves, what are the skill sets that are in demand? So it's not all technology skill sets. And you can see there's some critical behavioral skills that are required. Number one, critical thinking. The ability to be able to connect the dots in an organization and be able to expand from your current domain. Creativity and innovation is a growing skill set. So whilst we may think it's all about technology, it's a combination of both the technical skills and the behavioral skills. AI literacy, data science, digital literacy are all skills that every single employee in a workforce is required. Now, in previous years, we explored what are the sort of talent profiles that exist in an organization, specifically in fintechs and financial services, technology workforce. And we came up with 4 distinctive profiles. And these profiles were your commercial evangelists, and these are the people that take products to market. The second is the technology wizards. Now, these are the deep techies that really build our solutions. The third is our operations champions, and these are typically back office operations support that make things happen. And the fourth was our corporate drivers. These are our enabling functions, HR, finance, procurement, etc. And we are finding that there is a decline in the technology wizards. There's an increase in corporate drivers, but there is very, very importantly, a 5th emerging profile. And it's a new profile called the techno-functional collaborator. So what is a techno-functional collaborator? And this is where technology skills, business acumen, and human fluency skills come together. If you understand how technology operates, and you understand how people behave, together that will impact the way in which you can drive the business outcomes. So the technology professional of the future needs to have that combination of both technical skills, business acumen, and the human fluency skill sets. We also surveyed employees in terms of asking them, what are some of the reasons why they join companies? In previous years, the number one reasons why people join fintechs especially was the opportunities for growth and development. Surprise, surprise, this year's results show us that rewards have come to the top. People are leaving for more financial incentives. Then comes opportunities for growth and development. Then comes the nature of work. When we interviewed employers in terms of asking them what is their brand promise to employees, their number one focus was around opportunities for growth and development. It was around the people that they work for, and it was about the organization, purpose, and culture. And here lies the first mismatch. Employees out there in today's world, in Singapore, financial services technology, are looking for more financial rewards and incentives to be able to move companies. We also asked HR, what are your top focus areas and priorities? Number one on the HR list was actually about flexible work arrangements. Number 2 was around recognition and engagement activities. Number 3 was around performance management. And here lies, again, the paradox in terms of the employee agenda, the employer agenda, and the HR agenda not necessarily being all aligned. These are just some of the key findings that we've got in the SFA report. We have now officially launched our Financial Services Technology Talent Report. You can go and download it on the SFA website. And we've got a lot of details in terms of some of the detailed findings, and these were just some of the key highlights. But the key thing for organizations is, what do you do next? The first key recommendation is around the employee experience. I think more than ever, organizations have access to data and information than any time before. There is no need to conduct an annual engagement survey to understand what's going on. Using social listening techniques and real-time analytics to be able to truly understand what employees are thinking. The second is in terms of the employee value proposition, really rethinking about the concept of rewards and combining those financial rewards in terms of your employee value proposition. The next key component is around what we call unlocking the skills passport. Skills is the new oil. Having employees with the right skill sets and understanding how they're going to grow and develop is absolutely important. So A, investing the right amount of revenue in terms of learning and development. Secondly, providing employees with access to the right content and making it mandatory in a number of areas. And as I mentioned, it's not about the technical skills only. Add functional and the behavioral skills aspects to your learning and development pathways. Number 3 is around a risk-based culture in a technology workforce. More than ever, when we look at outside in, organizations are facing challenges. Challenges in terms of the way in which leadership drives risk and a risk culture in organizations, and the way in which employees actually understand the implications of risk, specifically in the new GenAI world. So thinking about how do we ensure that we mitigate those risks associated with the new technology. So organizations need to really focus on the risk culture. And last but not least, you don't have to do this all alone. There's a full spectrum of ecosystem partners out there to work with, to be able to engage and drive your agenda. Working with higher level institutions, working with deep technology firms to be able to build the talent agenda. Those are the 4 key components. I want to say very thanks to MAS, to SFA, for their collaboration with us on this year's report. We hope that you download it and you find it very, very interesting, and we're open for lots of questions and discussions afterwards.